Greetings, God bless. I have a question. I saw a video of uh, somebody who had been in the Hawaii massacre situation that just happened recently, and um, and they were like, "I'm not an American," like they disavowed America. So, okay, so they hate America, and yet then in the next breath, after they made it abundantly clear that they were not, that they um, rejected America, or um, like they had no allegiance to America, but in the next breath they were like, and why didn't America help us? Now, I personally think this was a directed energy weapon attack. It's clear, like Oprah and all the famous people, their homes were okay, and Oprah bought the burnt land. Like, I'm like, how are purchases of land happening when people are still just, they've just been burned out of their homes? Like, that land isn't for sale, is it? But anyway, so there's that side of the globalists taking over that land. But what I'm wondering about is, okay, so somebody considers themselves of a different culture, a different society, and they hate America. So my question is like, if you um, hate America and um, something bad happens, like, do they expect Germany to help them? Do they expect China to help? Do they expect Africa to help them? And if so, is that logical? So, like, if you've disavowed yourself from America and a crisis happened to you, should America help you? Because, like, this is this weird double standard I notice where um, people they'll hate America, but then they expect America to fix the problem that occurs. And I'm just wondering about that. Uh, and I'm wondering about who are the people of influence of certain areas. Like, yes, there's political people, presidents and governors and mayors and FEMA heads and stuff like that. But every locality has like a Freemason, like master king person. There's like an occult, head of the coven, witches coven, or head of the satanic church or something like that. It's my understanding that every location has that occult thing, and it's probably some local person. They didn't bring somebody from England or Australia or Africa to run, things in South Dakota or Hawaii or something like that. So, like, even though there's like these people who, whatever, that are in charge, who's the local people in charge? Like, so when the electricity was turned off, there were employees who turned off that electricity. When the water turned off, there were employees there. Like, the head honchos didn't go in and turn off the water and turn off the electricity. There was little employees who did so. Like, situations like these massacres, whether it's in Ukraine or Maui or Australia or Canada, where people are burned alive in a forest fire or whatever, these are human sacrifices. Like, any kind of crises, things in Haiti, um, you know, hurricanes drowning people, this is a human sacrifice. That is what these occult Satanists enjoy. They enjoy um, the chaos. They enjoy the accidents. They enjoy the suffering. They enjoy people becoming maimed and disfigured and traumatized and dysfunctional as a result of all the harm that they have caused. So if somebody walks away traumatized or wounded or disabled, these Satanists know they've done their job. That is their goal. Um, and I think it's just important to realize, yes, there's like these deep state people, and then there's the little minions who have done the will of the deep state. Like there's no water, there is no electricity, things were blocked off. Who are those little minions? Okay, yeah, somebody gave the order, but 1,000 people implemented it, and they were not all imported FEMA employees. But again, you know, if you're an enemy of the USA, you hate the USA. Like I've met Native people who are like, "This is our land, and you're invaders. You're from Europe. I was born on this land." But some people think they're going to call me from another continent that I've only visited, for a month. Um, it's that Marxist communist mindset of getting to make up your own reality, and somehow it's my responsibility to accommodate your reality. Uh, and this chronic mindset is like, so I'm going to hate your guts, and you've got to take care of me. You've got to do everything I want. You've got to love me, and you've got to uphold me and worship me. It's very bizarre. This is psychotic. I mean, I'm no expert in psychology, but this doesn't make sense. Um, you know, yes, it's terrible. A Holocaust has happened. This was a human sacrifice, and that's what Holocaust means. By the way, it means a sacrifice. It means like um, a burnt offering on an altar. So, uh, so this was probably intentional as well as a practical land grab, and the fact that things are being covered up reminds me of after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. America did not let reporters go there to document what happened. So, number one, America is not a great. It's messed up. It's got a lot of problems right now. Um, but if you hate this country, don't expect this country to come to your aid. Like that just really is. Um, it just doesn't make sense. Um, and and yeah, America has problems, but uh, yes, the government gives the order, but who locally in the electrical company, in the water company, in the locality that made it so people were burned alive in their cars and their homes. And, you know, just like people were executed in nursing homes, and also an atrocity. People starved to death. They were dehydrated to death. They were put on ventilators, which sheared off their alveoli. They were put on remdesivir, which also shut their kidneys down, um, and like there's other protocols where people drowned in their own blood, and people were raped. Because when nobody is there at the hospital, nobody's overseeing anything. There's bad people. Like there's ordinary people walking around who will do absolutely bad if nobody's around. And so these massacres and death, like murder scenarios, serial killers. That's what hospitals, because hospitals, they were locked down, so they were like, we're going to make money, and so they killed people. And this is known. There was an incentive for every dead CV patient. Hospitals got between $10,000 and $300,000 for each dead CV patient, and it's a great opportunity to do organ harvesting, organ trafficking. But nobody really cares about that. I don't hear anything about that, and I'm sure I mean, I for me, it seems to me with the lockdowns. So apparently, I think it was 300,000 people died during or committed suicide during the lockdowns. So, like, I can't remember the last statistics. Maybe it was like 800,000 people died combined in the US, UK, with the hospitals, combined with the lockdowns. I'm not sure because I have in my mind it was like about 1 million people died as a result of lockdowns from all sides. So, um, people like to think, oh, it's my tribe that's been murdered, but it's not. you know, there's been executions. There's a slow kill right going down in all major cities. It's assisted suicide by the state, allowing people to use fentanyl publicly, use tranquilizer, publicly. And so what you're seeing is suicide, people committing suicide slowly every day, in New York, San Francisco, Portland, Denver, wherever, that's what people are doing because of that defund the police movement, and there's been no real backtracking of it because of this progressive, liberal, politically correct movement that still has not uh, backtracked. Everybody's like, okay, police can't do anything, so all hedonism and perversion and everything, that's our way of life now. And so now we see people committing suicide slowly, doing drugs. And um and what the progressive liberals are like is, well, they have a right to do drugs and all the time on the sidewalk, although those same progressive liberals are living out in the middle of nowhere, and they don't want the drug addicts to do it right in front of their. Fine though if the drug addicts are doing it in front of an Asian home or Asian market or low income area, you know, like that's the thing. Like this progressive liberal agenda is a very classist thing. Like the people who are implementing it and staunchly supporting it are overeducated, insulated, privileged, entitled classists. They're upper middle class people, and like working class people, they're just consumed with, like, something bad happens that they then can expect, like, well, America should do something to help me, even though I hate America. It's just strange mentality. um, and the thing, who's a globalist enterprise, I mean, it's like Vatican, Jesuits, and Illuminati and whatnot. um, they blasted Maui, they fried Maui, just like Hiroshima and Nagasaki was blasted. You know, um, and it's probably the same people, it's probably the same technology. Uh, and what's interesting is the Japanese weren't like, America should help us, like, and I'm sure the Japanese were mad at America. Um, but it's just weird, only in America can somebody who's a reluctant, resentful American be like, I'm not an American by choice, but something bad happened to me, and America should help me. Like, what? Like, where where is logic? Where is common sense? You know, if you're like, if you're an expatriate, you're not a patriot. You're not a part of the, like, so don't expect the country to help you. um and get like, what's up with the people who turned off your electricity, who turned off your water, who who locked you in, who kept silent? There's people who kept silent. There's people who knew what was going on, and they made sure, like, find out who left the island, like, a couple days before, a week before. Those people, somebody knew. Just like Pearl Harbor, people knew. A week before Pearl Harbor was bombed, the U.S. military got their favorite people out of the situation. So folks are set up to be a sitting duck. Folks are set up to be the sacrifice. Um, like I read an article that they wanted, you know, as many dead people in Maui as possible. Same thing with 9/11. There was this. So one of the Twin Towers had this building manager, and he did these safety drills, I don't know, like every month. It didn't matter if you were the CEO, if you were Donald Trump, whoever had an office in this tower had to go on the safety drill, and the manager would not allow, no matter if somebody was making $1 million, they had to go on that safety drill. And so this guy listened to what they say. He said, go down the stairs. So he saved 3,000 people's lives that day because he had them trained, because every month they did a drill. Of course, that guy died. He was overweight. He was like 300 pounds. He wasn't able to, you know, go down, 100 flights of stairs. But so just know it's not your tribe that's being attacked. When people were killed during the lockdown, executed in hospitals and nursing homes, do you think they're like, oh, we're not going to kill this person because of their skin color, or this person? No, no. In South Dakota, white people were being killed. In Montana, white people were being killed. In New York City, white people were being killed. New Jersey, whoever could make that $300,000 CV death money for that hospital, that's who is going down, and it had nothing to do with color. White people were killing the patients. Black people were killing the patients. Black people were killing white patients. White people were killing black patients or white patients. I mean, it just, like, everybody likes to do this race baiting thing, and it's really about money and an absence of like a relationship with God, because these people are murderers. Like, there's murderers there's murderers who are just in it seems like every position. It's either you're a human trafficker or you're an executioner. And there's very little that doesn't have to do with human trafficking. I think the only thing that doesn't have to do with human trafficking is like buying your donuts or buying your groceries or buying your coffee or buying your gasoline. That is the only clean transaction that's going on. Like, I don't think the telephone companies is company, or real estate, or education. Just like there's always something sketchy. I think somewhat, like some weird evil program. But I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, yeah, I think everybody wants to blame white people. People want to get tribal. And, it's good. It's good to have your tribe. It's good to have your family. It's good to have your community. It's good to have your culture. What I find is interesting is it's allowed for, like Hispanic people to have a parade, or Black people to have a parade, or African people, or Asian people, um, Hawaiian people, but it's not allowed. It's very taboo for white people to have a parade. The first person who's gonna give a hard time about like a Danish parade or a German parade or a American parade it's going to be white people. It's going to be educated white people who are going to like bash white people celebrating a culture that happens to be white. And that's pretty messed up. And I think tribal cultures should not bash white people for being white and for having, their own culture. I think tribal culture should support white people having their tribal culture. Because I think politically correct, overeducated, progressive liberals are crazy, and they're seeking a tribe. So that's probably what that LBGT trans thing is. It's a tribe. It's the one tribe white people can be a part of. It's the one tribe that can't be bashed, right? So, and I think like tribal people of color are like, they've They know they deserve a tribe, and they probably know that Americans deserve a tribe. But because Americans are so full of guilt, Americans won't allow themselves to have a tribe. But what tribal people of color should do is be like, and you should have your own tribe. If you're a German tribe or a Danish tribe or a Spanish tribe or something like that, that's valid. Um, because I think that's what this LBGT thing is like. At least white people can have this tribe. The PETA animal activism, the environmental activism. That's another tribe that white people can be a part of. Because, right, don't you notice who's in PETA, who's in all this chemtrail, like pro chemtrail business, the pro injection business, the pro masking business, the like all this globalist stuff. It's these white people who are seeking a tribe. So these white people who have no tribe, who would not feel comfortable um, celebrating their Italian tribe or whatever. Um, so they're like, oh well, environmentalism is politically correct, and the gay trans agenda is politically correct. The CV phantom is politically correct, so I can do all those. And so I think that's like displaced white tribalism, you know. So that's my theory that I just came up with now as I'm thinking of it. And yeah, I think Americans have gotten really lost. I think in the 60s, Americans thought, oh, well, drugs and promiscuous sex, that's going to be the solution to everything. The breakdown of the family and feminism, yeah, that's going to solve everything. Let's have homosexuality. Yeah, that's going to make everything perfect. And here we are in 2023, and there's all these broken homes and all this mental illness and all this crazy drug abuse where people are killing themselves daily, in the most like disgraceful living conditions, not non-living conditions. I mean, they're just, um, it's worse than living like an animal. And yeah, you know, all these people who thought, oh yeah, doing drugs is going to fix everything. Having sex is going to fix everything outside of marriage. And, you know, has it? Has it fixed everything? No. And especially America, it could not handle it. Like it seems like other countries, Amsterdam seems to handle it, but America is like, especially the past few years, it's like it's degenerated, and it's just like the end of this country. It seems to me. So those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching. God bless.